are working with slope-intercept form, which we've done before. We have written them in y equals mx plus b form. That's what slope-intercept form is. Our goal is to find our m and find our b, write it in the equation. You should be able to do it from a graph like this one. You should be able to do it from a table like we did up here. And you should be able to do it from context. And so I'm going to spend most of our time today on context or application of real world problems because we've already been doing the other ones quite a bit. You still need to find two things. We still need to find our initial value, or b. So that's the y value when x equals 0. So you find where x is 0, find the y that's attached to it, that's our starting point. In context, this is going to be like a fee, a one-time fee, a service fee, a deposit fee, an activation fee, anything like that. It's usually a fee. You also need to find the rate of change, which is our m. So the one that is changing. So it's usually attached to the words per or each, something like that. Once we found them, we're then going to replace our m and our b and solve. All right, so the first question says a computer repair shop charges a $25 fee. So they're just charging a one-time fee. So this is my B, in addition to $4 per hour. So this is my M to service a computer. Write an equation to represent the total cost of service to service a computer. So our rate of change is $40. Our initial value is the $25 fee. What does the x values represent? So in our equation, when we write the mx plus b, it's going to tell us how often we're paying that $40. So this tells me that I pay $40 per hour. So our x values are going to represent hours. And then our y value is always going to represent some type of total. So this is going to be total with, actually I'm going to say total including the fee. Now we can take our m, which is our rate of change, we can take our initial value, which is our b, and plug it into our equation. So we would have y equals 40x plus 25. This means if they worked on it for 0 hours, it would only be $25. If they worked on it for 1 hour, it would be $40 plus the 25. Now, these letters right here are not, they can be interchangeable. They don't have to just be a y or an x. I'm paying this $40 every hour. So if I wanted, I could make that an h. So it'd be 40h. But your letter that's attached to a number is always going to be that rate of change. All right, on this one, the biggest mistake you'll make here, because we've been finding rates of change from graphs since November. The problem you'll do here is, once again, you will not pay attention to the scale. So it says Robert pays for his family to go bowling. He first rents shoes for everyone, and then he pays a certain amount for each game. Again, how often are I paying that? Each game. Use a graph to answer the questions. So the easiest one to find our B is just, where does this start? Well, it starts at $12, which means that I'm paying $12 to rent the shoes. Now my X, most of you would do this. You would say, here's a point, and here's a point. I only need 2 points. Most of you will say, I rose 3 and I ran 2. So you'd give me a slope of 3 over 2. The problem with this, you did rise 3 boxes, but I went from 12 to 15, I went up 3. 15 to 18, I went up 3. 18 to 21, I went up 3. So I actually went up 9, and this was still over 2. These were only counting by 2s. So of course, if I were going into the bowling alley and somebody said, oh, that's going to cost you 9/2, I would be like, what the heck? So we want to convert this to $4.50, which means $4.50. And how often are we paying that $4.50? We're paying it for each game. So that's what our X values represent, our games. Our Y is going to be the total with shoe rental. Y is always some type of total. So our equation would be Y equals, here's my M, and I could use a G here if I wanted for games. I'm just going to put MX plus, I have to start by paying $12. All right, the last two that we're going to look at, I'll read. I'll give you a minute and then you can come back and check them. An online photo printing shop charges 15 cents per print, in addition to a $2.95 shipping charge. Write an equation to model the total cost for printing pictures. So one of these we have to pay every single time. The other thing we just pay once, and that's to get them sent to us. So write your equation. And the second one says Mark bought a season ticket to the ski resort for $395. However, he must pay $25 to rent skis each time he goes. So he's got to pay this each time he goes. Write an equation to model the total cost that Mark will pay for skiing this season. All right, I hope you've paused and gotten your answers. So if you did this correctly, our equation would be Y equals 15 cents per print. So 15.15x, and then just one time they're going to charge me $2.95 to ship that out to me. This one, I paid $25 each time I rent skis, and then my ski pass was $395.